10 women and 3 children under the age of 5 are safe tonight. They've been suffering as victims of human trafficking.
A task force arrested 5 men linked to the investigation in Oak Grove over the weekend. And tonight, KCTV5's Carolina Cruz is live with a look at where this exploitation happens the most. Carolina.
Yeah, investigators looked into more than one truck stop here in Oak Grove, and it was truck stops like this one here just south of I-70, and you can see why. And the other truck stop that was investigated is just across the way on the interstate here, I-70. And you can see that shuffle of cars. It's really easy to get lost in the mix.
Drive all the way from coast to coast.
In his 3 years on the job, Ben Tuscan has learned to stay alert.
I'm in the zone, but I do pay attention. I mean, I think it's kind of standard with truckers. You see a lot.
Truck stops are trouble areas for human trafficking, like casinos and hotels. Officers in Oak Grove noticed odd activity at the truck stops in their city. Because of limited resources, officers called in the Missouri State Highway Patrol and the State Human Trafficking Task Force. 13 victims were rescued. 5 men were detained. Sergeant Andy Bell says these cases are complex, like spiderwebs.
So there's a lot of different directions that these cases can take you. Ideally, we want to find the core of that web.
Human trafficking includes many types of illegal exploitation through force or coercion, including sex crimes or forced labor. 2020 year to date, 235 reported incidents have happened in Missouri.
I've also heard stories from other drivers, suspicious things happening. And so you always just kind of keep your head on the swivel.
Sergeant Bell urges people to be aware of the signs of human trafficking and report it. This includes coached responses to questions, certain marks or tattoos, and behaviors such as anxiety or submissiveness.
Sometimes we can't make sense of it. Sometimes we jump to conclusions. In this case, we feel like if you saw something that's suspicious, you might as well report it. Let us as investigators vet that tip.
I wasn't aware human trafficking was as prominent as it is even in this particular truck stop until you told me.
Yeah.
So that's now I will keep my eyes open.
Yeah. Sergeant Bell says some incidents went unnoticed for years, but with more training, officers are picking up on indicators.
Investigators that were initially involved, that their work has only just begun.
The task force will now be looking for more victims and more suspects linked to the case in Oak Grove. Sergeant Bell says it's been really hard holding trainings for human trafficking with the pandemic, but so far in the state of Missouri, they have had 18 trainings so far this year. And Sergeant Bell says that these trainings are actually helping solve cases because officers on routine traffic stops, when they get called out to any sort of call, they are aware and they are looking for those indicators and reporting them. Reporting in Oak Grove, I'm Carolina Cruz, KCTV 5 News.